and live those days once more, my friend.
Welcome back to Pigskin Glory. Football 50 years ago today. Today we're heading back to Thursday, June 17th, 1976. The Saints and Buccaneers make a trade. Joe Gilliam's fresh start takes a troubling turn. Football Digest checks in on Bart Starr's rebuilding project in Green Bay. And we'll wrap up with a look at some classic sports memorabilia available to fans in 1976. Let's get started. The Saints and Buccaneers make a trade. The NFL transaction wire wasn't exactly burning up in June of 1976, but there was one deal worth noting. The New Orleans Saints traded safety Johnny Fuller to the expansion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in exchange for safety Jim Kearney. Both teams were looking for help in the secondary. Tampa Bay was trying to assemble its first roster in franchise history, while the Saints were searching for answers after another disappointing season. It's the kind of move that barely made headlines at the time, but these are roster decisions that help shape teams heading into training camp. Joe Gilliam arrested. Just days after being acquired by New Orleans, former Steelers quarterback Jefferson Street Joe found himself making national news. Gilliam was arrested near Nashville following a traffic stop. Authorities reported finding a handgun and what they identified as cocaine during a search of the vehicle. The arrest came at a terrible time for Gilliam, who had recently expressed optimism about getting a second chance with the Saints after his departure from Pittsburgh. For a player who once started for the eventual Super Bowl champion Steelers, his football future suddenly looked very uncertain. Looking back, it's one of the saddest stories of the 1970s NFL, a talented quarterback whose career never reached the heights many expected. Football Digest Post of the Day featured an article on Bart Starr and the Green Bay Packers. After a difficult 4-10 season in 1975, Starr described the year as a humbling learning experience. The article highlighted Green Bay's aging offensive line, roster turnover, and challenges of building a franchise that had once dominated the NFL under Vince Lombardi. Despite the struggles, Starr remained optimistic. He believed the team's attitude had improved and that the foundation for future success was being built. The question Packer fans were asking in 1976 was simple. How long would it take to get Green Bay back into contention? The ads in this issue in Football Digest offered a fun look at sports fandom in 1976. Fans could order giant 2-foot by 3-foot superstar posters featuring many of the biggest names in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer. The magazine also promoted a hardcover history of the Green Bay Packers filled with photographs and stories from the franchise's legendary past. Long before online shopping and instant downloads, sports fans filled out order forms, mailed checks, and patiently waited for their collectibles to arrive. That's our look back at June 17th, 1976, a trade between the Saints and Buccaneers, troubling news involving Joe Gilliam, Bart Starr's thoughts on rebuilding the Packers, and a nostalgic look at sports collectibles available to fans 50 years ago. If you've enjoyed today's trip through football history, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Pigskin Glory Football 50 years ago today.